So they moved the French Open. So with everything going on, I think one of the biggest things that we have to look at is what can distract us from staying inside so much. And with everything unfolding, more information is coming out about the coronavirus and more events that need to be postponed or canceled. And the biggest one as of right now is that the French Open has now been moved to a week after the US Open in September to October. I'm kind of speechless at that, because I think the problem that everyone is having with finding out on Twitter, because that's where everyone found out. I had even a player DM me and asking me where I got my source was, because no one found out from an official statement or email or something more official and directed towards the players before it was announced to the public. Because there was an official tweet not an hour or two ago before making this video from the official Roland Garros Twitter account that said the French Open will be officially moved to the start date of September 20th and the finish date of October 4th. Now, if we just go look at the ATP and WTA calendar, there's a pretty big tournament that is happening right before they said that this tournament will start later this year. And that's called the US Open. I think you kind of get where I'm going with this video, but there seems to be some idea out there that there's no communication between the players and the organizations from when this is all happening. Under the current circumstances that everyone is going through around the world, is that the coronavirus is affecting not only the players' work, but my work and everyone else's work around them. And everyone should be taking this very seriously and being very safe with what they are doing. And I think the problem we are having with this is that, or what people are saying about this, because this is affecting my world and players' world, because it seems like you cannot schedule an event like this without getting someone else's consensus about it. Especially people that are actually participating in this event, that drive the revenue and drive the viewership, because without those players, there is no tournament. I just want to show you some of the tweets that have happened over the last couple hours of who's literally surprised by this, because they haven't found out about it until they looked at their social media. So let's just look at some of the accounts. Let's see. Let's start with Sorona Cîrstea. I talked about her in my last video when Indian Wells was officially canceled. And she found out Indian Wells was canceled on Twitter. She now found out again on Twitter that Roland Garros has been canceled. So, good start. Good start. Let's see. Vasek Pospisil, who has been an advocate for starting a players' council and uniting the players to understand what's going on, creating more of a community for the players to talk and access, to see what goes on throughout the tour, and to make sure everyone's getting a fair and equal vote and voice within the entire community. He tweeted out, "This is madness. Major announcement by Roland Garros changing the dates 1 week after the US Open. No communication with the players or the ATP. We have zero say in the sport. It's time. Hashtag unite the players." And another person who is very outspoken and is talking about how we can better the sport of tennis, Noah Rubin, also replied to the tweet and talked about it and said, "Despite these being unprecedented times, you would think that it would promote more communication. You telling me that there is a more perfect way to time to get all the players involved, not like we are doing anything right now." And I think that's the overlying issue with all of this, is that the communication between players and media and decision making needs to take everybody into account, specifically the tournament directors and the players. After that, once they come to a collective agreement, they can then tell the media, and then the media will talk about it like I'm doing now. Because it seems like the communication part of it is another issue that has been happening, is because apparently both the ATP, according to this Twitter account called Stropa_Del, both the ATP and Tennis TV have deleted the Roland Garros breaking news from earlier, saying that Roland Garros will now take place from the 20th to the 4th of October. Maybe something there that we should be taking notice of, but that's interesting to know that they deleted their tweet. More Twitter announcements from players. Samuel Racquet, find me one player who knew that decision, replying to someone on Twitter. Tennis Sandgren, very outspoken on Twitter, goes, no one, absolutely no one. French Open this morning, do you feel in charge? Probably referring to the idea that players feel like they have a voice in their own sport, which it seems like some of them don't think they even have a voice in their own sport, for that matter. Svitolina, absolutely confused with the classic Zach Galifianakis hangover meme, where he is trying to figure out his cards at the casino, and it just seems like there is just a confused and trying to figure out what's going on, because it seems like they don't know what's going on as well. People, I think Osaka and Donna Vekic also said this, excusez-moi, saying, excuse me, in French. All of these giving the idea that they had no idea that this was going to be announced, or that there was even a remote possibility that this would even be rescheduled for a later time, because some of the tournaments already that we have passed or that are coming up in the next few weeks that have been canceled already announced that they would be canceled. Not that they would be moved or there was a possibility to be moved, but it has been canceled altogether. After that was announced, after Roland Garros put out this tweet, the official Twitter account of Wimbledon followed up with a statement regarding their own tournament after Roland Garros tweeted out that they are moving their tournament. This is what Wimbledon tweeted out. The AELTC is continuing to monitor and respond to the coronavirus situation, working closely with the government and relevant health authorities. While we continue to plan for the championships at this time, it remains a continuously evolving situation. Just putting out a statement saying they're trying to monitor the situation as closely and as carefully as they can to make their final decision whether or not to go forth with having this tournament or canceling it altogether, because it seems like they're trying to monitor the situation as closely now, and now getting the response that people are having, especially players, they're having towards the Roland Garros tweet. It seems like they might have a head start in what might happen. And there has been no news front from the US Open itself as well, saying that they're continuing to monitor the situation because it's not that close in terms of the calendar year. It's very far down the road, but with the coronavirus and the state that it is in, it seems like the more of these events getting rescheduled or canceled, the more impact it is going to have on them, and it seems that they should be making a statement or should plan on monitoring the situation just as closely, because you never know what's going to happen in the next couple months or days for that matter. I also want to point out all the tournaments are going to be happening during the time that the new French Open is scheduled to be a part of. On the ATP side, you have Metz, St. Petersburg, Laver Cup, Chengdu, Sofia, and Zhuhai. And the week before is the Davis Cup, and Tokyo and Beijing are the week after. WTA side, you have Guangzhou, Seoul, Tokyo, Wuhan, Tashkent, and then Hiroshima, Zhengzhou the week before, and Beijing the week after. This is all coming from the official Twitter account of Jose Morgado. There are so many other events that are going to be happening, and we've already talked about in the past and has been well known amongst players and fans that after the US Open happens, it seems that fans do not continue to follow some of the other events, because after the last Grand Slam, it seems that the year is already long as it is. Now we're just going to be replacing these tournaments with a Grand Slam, one of the 4 biggest tournaments of the year, right after another one. If you think about it, Nadal's going to have to defend 2 Grand Slam titles in a matter of 3 to 4 weeks. How can someone physically put themselves through that? I'm kind of just lost for words right now, because in the tennis world, this is a very big deal. There are a lot of bigger issues that are going on in the world right now, but this directly affects my world and the people that I work with. So it's a bigger deal to me than it might be to others. A lot is happening, and it's just a whirlwind of information that's being thrown at me, as well as other people going on. So please let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of what's happening, and your guys' opinion of the French Open moving, because this is a big deal in the tennis world, and I want to know your guys' opinion. So leave a comment down below, as well as making sure you leave a big like on this video, as well as making sure you subscribe to Tweener Head Tennis. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, so if you can hit that sub button, it means a lot to me, so thank you so much. As well as checking out all our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as our website at tweenerheadstennis.com and our Patreon page. All the links to those are down in the description below, and I hope to see you guys next time for our next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, guys.